Welcome back to Christian World News. Iranian-backed militias are forcing Christians out of Baghdad. The Foreign Desk website reports they are seizing Christian churches, homes, and businesses, driving Christians out of their neighborhoods and south of the city. Assyrian, Chaldean, and Syriac church leaders say it's ethnic cleansing. Christian leaders in Iraq's parliament and NGOs working in the country say it's true. In the north, ISIS has driven Christians out of their ancestral homes in Kirkuk and Mosul. And Dr. Walid Faris advises members of Congress on the plight of Christians in the Middle East, and he joins us now from our Washington, D.C. bureau. Dr. Faris, thanks for joining us. This is very serious. Can you tell us more about what's happening to the Christians in Baghdad?
Well, I'm very close to this file, precisely that I led a delegation of NGOs, many of which you've just mentioned, from Chaldean, Assyrians, Syriac, Yazidis in the north, and others from Iraq when the ethnic cleansing began at the hands of ISIS last year and the year before. But we warned about what could happen in the south. That would be Baghdad and south of Baghdad. And indeed, these NGOs are reporting, and for the first time, the churches, those are based in Baghdad, are reporting that this militia, the Hashd al-Shabi, the mobilization militia, which is under the control really of the Iranians, has been seizing homes, has been seizing churches, has been seizing centers and clubs, and basically to that small Christian community, it is the equivalent of ethnic cleansing.
You say that U.S. foreign policy is partially to blame for these atrocities. How so?
Well, the United States basically is a partner to the Iraqi government. We give them a lot of money, a lot of training, we give them information. We are actually their allies against ISIS. So the minimum that we could request from the Iraqi government, from the prime minister, from their armed forces, is to stop these militias from undertaking this ethnic cleansing as we are there in Baghdad. Our trainers are in Baghdad.
What's happening to the Christians other than they're being forced out of their homes? Are they being harmed? Are they being killed? Or where are they going?
No, actually they have left. Some of them have left already after the ethnic cleansing in the north. Others would leave for a while and come back. And when they come back, those militias are seizing their homes. Basically what these militias are doing, they are purifying, quote unquote, Baghdad to make it from one sectarian coloration. It had happened between Sunni and Shia, but now it's happening to this small, very weak Christian community.
So they're not being harmed as far as we know?
There were many incidents of individuals being harmed, but this is not the case of ISIS moving and, machine gunning and killing that happened in the north. But still, this is happening within a government that is our ally. Imagine if another ally in Europe would be doing this to Christians or to Muslim moderates or to others.
Well, do you believe that the U.S. should declare what's happening to Iraq's Christians genocide? And how will that help the situation if they do declare it genocide?
Well, in 2014, when we went to not just Congress and European Parliament, but also to the United Nations Security Council, I led a delegation, or I was the advisor of a delegation that actually placed that item on the table of the Delegations Security Council, and the French were very helpful, and that now has been translated into a resolution by the European Parliament. We hope Congress will follow, and eventually the United Nations. That would help basically by putting a lot of moral and political pressure on the players in the region. And second, in terms of reparation. And third, in terms of actually creating a protected zone, maybe not in Baghdad, but in the northern part of Iraq, where Christians and Yazidis and anybody who feel persecuted could be protected.
And you yourself believe this is genocide?
It is genocide. I mean, of course, when you have ISIS moving, destroying the entire Yazidi community, destroying partially the Christian Assyrian community in the north, 500,000 leaving their homes and going to Kurdistan, that would be the equivalent. I mean, jurists and legal experts will struggle with the word, but that's maximum ethnic cleansing is already a genocide.
What can we do to make Iran stop this activity?
Well, number one, we have a deal. The administration said they had a $150 billion deal with the Iranian regime. When that Iranian regime controls these militias, if I was the president or his administration, I will use that deal. You're not going to get more cash if you're going to allow or you're going to push your militias to do this in Baghdad. Number two, with the ally of Iran in Iraq, that's the prime minister and his government, we also have a lot of leverage. We have a lot of leverage we're not using for the protection of the minorities, unfortunately.
Well, we certainly encourage our viewers to continue to pray for the Christians there. Dr. Walid Faris, thanks so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.